Our guest today is Vinit Jijhawan. He is chair of TYE Global this year, which is hosting its annual TYE competition in Boston this year for the first time in its history. We are going to talk to Vinit about TYE competition this year, as well as how TYE has truly become a global entrepreneurial movement among the young. Vinit, welcome to our studio.
Thanks, Upendra.
And again, for your time, I really appreciate it.
Of course.
So, TYE started when you were the president of TYE Boston. I think it was around 2005.
That's correct.
Correct.
So I was a two-term president of TYE Boston in 05-06. And at that time, our executive director was Geeta Ramamurthy. And Geeta was very sort of passionate about high school students. And she had come to me and asked me if we could start this TYE Young Entrepreneurs Business Plan competition. And at that time, I was actually pretty active with another organization called the National Foundation for Teaching Entrepreneurship, NIFTY, that was doing something similar, but for the inner city kids in Boston. And also the rest of the country. And we looked at the NIFTY curriculum and said, this is not appropriate for, the kids that we're targeting. And the kids we were targeting, of course, were the Indian American kids, but also their friends in sort of, the mainstream high school population. And so I encouraged Geeta Ramamurthy, and she really was the one who...
She also had a son in the similar high school at that time, right? Or no?
Her son was a little bit younger, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, so Sham was a little bit younger at that time. But yeah, we got it off, and I still remember I helped sort of get the judges for the first competition in Boston, and we had a couple of venture capitalists as judges, and because at that time...
Do you remember how many kids participated in the first group? No.
I don't remember exactly how many, but if I were to guess, it was somewhere around 15.
15, okay.
Kids, I think, if I remember, 15 to 20. And I still remember very distinctly how the judges were completely blown away by the quality of the presentations.
So now Boston is the birthplace of TYE, and now it has become really a truly global phenomenon. So if you can talk a little bit about that, how the TYE has grown globally. And
So it requires understanding a little history of TYE.
Okay.
So if you remember, TYE started as individual chapters. It was Silicon Valley first, Boston second, Los Angeles third. And then it grew from there.
Sure.
While I was president of TYE Boston, there was a movement to create TYE Global, and I was very supportive of that. We changed our charters of the individual chapters. We gave up our individual charters.
Because Boston was totally independent.
We were
right?
totally independent.
Sure.
It was called TYE New England back then, if you remember.
Yes.
And so we gave it up, and we joined TYE Global. There was an election for TYE Global trustees. I was elected after I left TYE Boston presidency. I was elected by the charter members in not just Boston, but it was charter members all over the world who voted. And so I spent 2 terms as a TYE Global trustee. It was while I was a TYE Global trustee that we took TYE Global.
And so now how many TYE chapters really are participating actively in the TYE?
Well, this is the 10th anniversary of the TYE Global Championship. And this year there are 28 TYE chapters participating.
And all from the US or coming from other parts?
No, they're from all over. So predominantly US and India,
Sure.
but we also have chapters from other places.
Okay. So the 28 teams will be here in Boston.
The majority of the 28 will be here in Boston. There are a few teams who will be doing it remotely.
Okay. And so what is happening in Boston, those teams who are coming here?
Yeah, so it's the program's a 2-day program. It's beginning on Friday, June 20th, and we'll go half day on Saturday. So the program on Friday will be sort of parallel competitions. We've got judges, and the goal is to get it down to a bunch of semifinalists, and then we'll have the semifinalist pitches on Saturday morning.
Okay.
And there will also be a maker fair. So Friday will be at Boston University at the Questrom School of Business.
And you are involved with Boston University too?
I'm still teaching,
okay.
at Boston University in the Questrom School of Business. And so, yes, we'll have it at Boston University on Friday. And on Saturday, it'll be at MIT, at Sloan School.
So if somebody wants to attend the event, is there a fee there, or anybody can come, or it is not?
No, there's no fee.
Anybody can come and attend?
Anybody can come and attend if they'd like, yes.
Okay. And then, so once you have the semifinalists, how many awards you guys give? Or how many are the winners final?
That's a good question. I think there are 3 awards. And they're significant. They're several $1,000s. I don't want to give away all the secrets.
Okay. That was going to be my next question, how much they are going to, each team is going to get.
It's significant.
Okay.
And, just to put it in perspective, when we ran the first TYE program in Boston, we gave away a $10,000 check from Microsoft.
Sure, okay, excellent.
That's pretty significant
for
high
absolutely.
school
For the high school kids, yes, absolutely.
But also more important than the money is the process that they go through is incredibly useful to these young people, because this idea of entrepreneurial mindset is becoming very mainstream in colleges. So colleges across the U.S. now begin to realize that all their students, regardless of their major, should have some experience of understanding what an entrepreneurial mindset is. Because it doesn't matter if you go and start a company or join a startup. Even if you go to an established company, the companies are looking for these employees with an entrepreneurial mindset.
And it's a great resume to have, to even the part of this.
It's definitely a good resume as well.
Resume. So now I have to bring one personal question about this one, because I know many years ago your son was also part of TYE.
That's right.
And so if you can just talk about that experience and what your son is doing today.
Yeah, so I don't remember exactly when. I think it might have been the second cohort at TYE Boston. So my son was participating in a team with Karthik Shastri and Satvik Ahluwalia, and there was a fourth, I don't remember who it was. And I think they came runner-up. Their idea was around a menu app. Now we're talking about 2007 or so. Sure. The iPhone had just come out in 2007, so smartphones were just catching hold. So their idea was to do an app that would help you prepare menus that were healthy for you. Now, fast forward, those team members all went to college, had their jobs. Arun,
your son,
my son, went to college, got a physics degree, moved to San Francisco because he wanted to do a startup, got Tim Draper to give him a little bit of money to do a nutrition startup, a nutrition app startup. Basically, almost along the lines of what they had proposed at TYE. Sure. And then he convinced Karthik, who was in India at that time, to come and join him. So the two of them started this company. It was called Fill My Fork. They sort of bootstrapped it. And by the way, they also won, there was a Shark Tank like event at TyCon.
Okay. In Valley, Silicon Valley. Oh, in Boston. Okay.
And so they came back and pitched, and I think they won some money there. And they got some angel investors from Boston from that. And eventually they sold the company.
Which year was that?
They sold the company 2 years back. And to a company called Zipongo that basically had gone through the same accelerator in San Francisco as they had. And it made a lot of sense because they had already raised quite a bit of money. These kids were about to raise some money and they realized it made more sense to put it together. And so they were both there for 2 years and they both left. Now Arun is doing another startup that's focused on chronic pain called Remedy. But that experience at TYE was very helpful.
So now this other list too. So those are people who are not familiar with TYE and they are interested into this, how TYE can benefit those high schoolers or even the parents who wants to guide their kids to?
Yeah, as I said, it's not necessary that everybody follow an entrepreneurial path. Meaning, you don't have to start a company or be part of a startup, but the learnings in going through a TYE program are extremely valuable in any career you choose, because you learn things about, teams, for example, how to work in teams. That's a skill that all of us will need our whole lives. 2, you learn about how to identify problems in the market that one can address. You learn about how to think about marketing and sales.
Which is very important.
Very important.
Sure.
You learn to think about product development and those things around product development. And probably the most important, frankly, is you learn public speaking and presentation skills, right?
Sure.
Even what we're doing here.
Sure, absolutely.
These are like basic skills that people, have to learn. You're not born with them. You have to learn them. And TYE, I think, helps with that.
Okay. So now, just if you can talk a little bit about TYE in general, for example.
Right.
So, TYE Boston completed, I think, last year 20 years.
Right.
And then, so how the whole TYE movement has taken place, and what since you have been involved from the very beginning, what are some of the recommendations or suggestions you will make to TYE? Because 20 years ago when the whole movement started, the economy was different, technology was different. Now a lot of things have changed.
Yeah. So when TYE was started, and it was through serendipity. I don't know if you remember the story, but a bunch of Silicon Valley entrepreneurs were waiting for the Indian ambassador. He was late, and they got together and they realized, hey, this would make sense to get together more often, and that's how it sort of formed. So at its core, it's the social bonds of these, Indian American entrepreneurs. I think that's what makes it very strong. In the beginning, were these social bonds. But it was also the sense that we needed to help each other because, we were known as good VP of engineers, but we weren't accepted as CEOs back then, 20 years ago.
Now it has changed.
Now it has completely changed. Okay. And of course, it started in the US and then it spread to India. And India chapters have become very powerful. And in a way, we also helped kind of, India sort of emerge as an entrepreneurial powerhouse. I think where TYE is going to have a challenge now, and partly because it's been so successful, is how do we get the next generation to feel like they should be part of TYE and that they need to have these social bonds as well as help each other. Because, our kids have, gone through the systems here and the schooling here and frankly are very confident and self-confident and comfortable. Sure. And may not feel the need. And I think there still is a need.
Well, that's where the TYE plays a role because that's also could be a good. And also one thing I have noticed here, at least in Boston chapter, is that a lot of non-Indians are also getting involved with the TYE. So if you came to this TYECon this year, there were so many attendees who were really non-Indians there.
Yeah, and that's been the goal pretty much from the beginning. Right from when Desh, started TYE Boston, right from the beginning, he wanted this to be a mainstream operation. I mean, if you remember, when I was president, we had 22 venture capital firms sponsoring us, giving us $10,000 a year. That is about as mainstream as you're going to get.
Sure.
And so when we remember we brought TYECon to the Hines from the suburbs. Sure. I mean, it was the biggest tech conference in Boston. And I think the community realizes that it's not an exclusive club, that we as a community and as a diaspora are very open and we want to be mainstream. So.
Excellent. Vinit, thank you very much for your time.
It's my pleasure.
And it was always a pleasure to talk to you.
It's my pleasure.
So one day we have to talk to you about your journey here too.
Absolutely.
I know we have been postponed it for some time.
Anytime. And what I'd like to do on the opposite of Pendra is I'd like to talk to you about your journey and how you got here.
Okay.
So we promise each other we'll do
We will
that.
interview each other, sure,
Okay.
absolutely. Vinit, again,
It's a
thank you
pleasure.
so